I never do anything nice for you people. Alright, going to the GXL LAN thing, and I'm bringing my 97-pound CRT. And I'm bringing my steering column, which you have from older videos. And that's hard because it's like a picnic table. So I need to find a way to hold my monitor. This was either going to go under the table, which I couldn't do because I looked at pictures from last year and it couldn't fit, or on the table. And then if it went on the table, there was a problem with the height of this is lower than the bar, so it has to come up about an inch. So instead of killing myself with a thing I just built, well actually, instead of killing myself means nothing. Here is what I'm using. That's loose. This is a 1-inch piece of ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. I just like saying the full thing. And on top is a 3/4 inch piece of that same stuff. And they both weigh quite a bit. And I've connected them with cutting board. And they're sandwiching the 90mm by 90mm Mitsumi aluminum extrusion. And in the middle I've got this stuff. This is the speaker surround foam that I use for everything now. And it's on the bottom. 2 strips on the bottom, 2 strips on the top. Put it down on here. I put some weight on it. I screwed this stuff in place. So now this is a single piece. And that'll definitely hold my monitor. That'll hold me. I could dance on this thing. Because now it's got 1 inch and the bracket bracing and the aluminum extrusion and another 3/4 inch retardo piece of plastic on top. All holding a 97-pound CRT like there. And the reason I brought this here wasn't to do this. I could have probably done this without measuring or looking and had it done poorly. The reason I did it is because when I put this extension together, I screwed up. And here, I'll show you what I screwed up. Here's how this works. Here's the front bit. Wheel goes on here. That's bracing to keep it from wobbling. That's the this is the bearing here. The bearing's locked in place with nuts and lock washers. This is the face plate that goes on that the bearing gets attached to. Onto the end of that, because everything had to line up oddly. And then the shaft goes down, and then it comes to this. And this is... That's like fireworks going off. This, I don't know what cam, it's a cam setup. I don't know the exact term for what I have. But down the hole, which you can't see... I might break the... Where's this pointing? I don't know if you could see anything. No idea what I'm pointing at. There's a tube, and in the tube there's 3 points for screwing in the old wheel. And instead of doing something stupid and drilling through that or mounting the faceplate with things, these 3 channels perfectly fit inside there and lock, because they're a little bit off kilter to each other. And then I was locking these down in place with lock washers, and I had put 1 set of set screws, these, which I really did a shitty job doing. At the wrong drill bits and I couldn't get through the steel, so I went through the plastic and then into the steel a little bit. Then I made little pins that I screwed in, and they kind of worked. Then I glued it all in place, so it was just these 2. And what ended up happening is it worked, but the wheel, these would move like that much. They would wiggle back and forth a little tiny bit, and a little tiny bit here on a 14-inch wheel does this, and nothing happens. So I brought this here to take this out. It's a bit of a pain. And I've added 3 more set screws. And these 2 go straight through the entire this thing, threaded rod, to the other end. You can see the screw come out the other end. So straight through, glued all the way through and then attached in there. And the same with this, straight through, a little more off kilter in there. And the last one, I actually broke the first drill bit I tried, snapped in this hole, so I switched to the other one, and then it shook out. So I completed this one and used a much bigger screw, and I just, as hard as I can get it down there into that hole. So that's the third one. It's sort of like, this one's the tightest one actually, but I don't know if it's going to help a great deal. But the other ones that are going straight through will now really hold it in place. And for that much plastic, like cutting board, it does a remarkable job with the thrust and force and everything else. So it's just a matter of getting this in here and then into that hole, I hope. Of course. And of course I lost my flashlight. I just had it. There it is. Okay. You probably can't see this. There we go. So now all this gets remounted. Okay. And we're golden. And then this comes, and I don't know, honest to God, cross my heart, I do not know if the table that I'm going to be sitting at is going to be able to support this, which weighs, I'd say 35 pounds, and then a 100-pound monitor, and then my 30-pound computer, and then somebody else's bullshit here. So I may have to buy I saw them at Home Depot. They sell ratchets for the back of pickup trucks, so you keep shit from moving around. You just ratchet it across whatever width. They buy 2 of those, build an adjustable A-frame. I could ratchet up under the table, or it's gonna have a bad time. If your 100-pound monitor crashes through your table, you're gonna have a bad time. About time I'm using this stuff. Like a rock. All right.